Hello, my name is Lily. I am one of TickerDD.com AI bots, here for your daily stonking. This video does not contain or offer any qualified, accredited, or professional investment or financial information, research, advice, or product and services. See disclaimer at the end of this video. This video is only for your entertainment purposes. My capitalistic brothers and sisters, let's get started.
Hello, my name is Sam. What was end-of-day price and volume for BBWI? On the 1st of March 2022, BBWI had an end-of-day price of $50.94 and volume of about 3.7 million. Compared to the previous trading day, the price dropped 4.55%, losing $2.43, while volume dropped 20.88%, decreasing about 1 million. Scanning public third-party data sources, 10 possible trade signals were discovered. They include 1 weakness, 2 contractions, 1 bearish, 3 bullish, 2 bearish swing setup, 1 bullish swing setup. More on these signals later. For now, let's look at price and volume history for BBWI.
Hello, my name is Magnus. How did the 1st of March 2022 rank for BBWI by 650 calendar day? Look back to May 21, 2020, across 448 trading days, of which the 1st of March 2022 price ranked 225 while its volume ranked 214. Each of the 448 trading days were ranked amongst themselves by highest end-of-day price and volume, with a rank of 1 being the highest and 448 being the lowest ranked day. The price's day-over-day percentage change, dropping minus 4.55% on the 1st of March 2022, had a day rank of 427, while its dollar difference of minus $2.43 had a rank of 431 when compared day-over-day across 447 trading days. Volume's percentage change and difference were ranked respectively at 329 and 341.
Hello, my name is Maria. Which quartile did the 1st of March 2022 price and volume land? Across a sample size of 448 trading days, the maximum end-of-day price for BBWI was $78.37 while the minimum was $11.20. Within that price range, the 1st of March 2022 price, of $50.94, landed within the second quartile, putting it within the 25% to 50% range of all sampled end-of-day prices. The day's volume landed within the third quartile, that is within the 50% to 75% range of all sampled daily volume, which saw a max daily volume of 39 million and a minimum of 1 million. Quartiles tell us about the spread of a data set by breaking that data set into quarters, just like how the median breaks the set into half. Descriptively, BBWI has a median price of $51.185. Therefore, the 1st of March 2022 price was lower from that middle marker by 0.47%. The day's volume of 3.7 million was more than the median by 2.94%.
Hello, my name is Claire. How were price and volume averages for BBWI? Across 448 trading days, there were a total of 21 month ends, of which monthly averages for daily price and volume were calculated. Overall, monthly price average trended up while monthly volume average trended down. The maximum end-of-month average price was $75.05 for 11/2021, while the minimum was $12.91 for 05/2020. Looking at volume, 05/2020 and 10/2021 respectively saw the highest and lowest monthly average volume at 13.9 million and 2.2 million.
Hello, my name is John. What were end-of-month percentage change averages in price and volume for BBWI? The monthly average of percentage change in price and in volume were calculated for each of the 21 month ends. That calculation took daily percentage changes and averaged them for each given month. If a month end came out negative, then it means that the month summarily saw a negative change. From 05, 2020 to 01, 2022, 16 out of 21 month ends had a positive percentage change in average price. That is 76% of month ends saw a positive percentage change in average price. In terms of volume, 20 out of 21 month ends had a positive percentage change. That is 95% of month ends saw a positive percentage change in average volume. Price saw an end-of-month max of 2.49% in average percentage change along with a minimum of -1.04%. For volume, the maximum and the minimum monthly percentage change were respectively 50.21% and -18.38%.
Hello, my name is Cameron. What are recent news that may impact price and volume for BBWI? Before we continue, remember to like and subscribe to TickerDD on YouTube. Leave a comment below to share your favorite ticker and we'll see if we can include it in our next batch of videos. This video is one of many video series of custom data and analysis models that we are building out. My capitalistic brothers and sisters, join the TickerDD army. Subscribe today. Now, back to the video. Scanning headline news for BBWI, the following headlines stood out. The next iteration of this video will dive deeper into news sentiments and other topics. For now, discovered headline news include 3 recent headlines that we found interesting. On February 24, 2022, the headline read, Bath & Body Works, Inc. BBWI CEO Andrew Meslow on Q4 2021 results earnings call transcript. On February 24, 2022, the headline was, Bath & Body Works reports a record 2021. Finally, on February 24, 2022, the headline stated, Bath & Body Works CEO Andrew Meslow stepping down.
Hello, my name is Carl. Thank you for watching. Check out our other videos. Disclaimer. This video and its content, video, is for entertainment purposes only. Absolutely no qualified, accredited, or professional investment or financial information, data, advice, research, product, service or otherwise, are presented, marketed, or offered in this video. No warranty, guarantee, assurance, or factual assertions are offered or stated in this video. Never use this video to influence or determine investment or financial decisions. TickerDD, an in-progress framework of nerdy data science and robotics stuff, auto-generated this video for entertainment purposes, as part of a web docuseries at TickerDD.com and the TickerDD YouTube channel, about a guy who has to automate YouTube videos for his personal use as he searches for his next investment ideas. Videos are for his personal use only even if they are public. This video contains opinions and commentaries, even if they were auto-generated. Remember that bots, data models, data, and methods may include hidden assumptions, undefined and unrefined variables, as well as errors and unfit approaches. Therefore, this video, by its auto-generation date and time, and by its sourced and abstracted third-party public data are offered as is. Your access, view, and share of this video constitute your agreement that this video is for your entertainment purposes only and that you will not take actions or make decisions off it. As such, you grant full release of claims, directly or indirectly, from your access, view, and share of this video, against TickerDD and its affiliates. The people and entities, affiliated to the ticker that is covered in this video, are not affiliated with this video.